Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and welcome to my last comic review of 2013. These comics came out today, New Year's Eve, again, this was a pretty light week, not a lot out, only 3 comics, all from DC. Let's get started with Superman Unchained. Finally, things start to come together. We finally get a connection between Wraith and Ascension when pretty much from one half of the story, which is told from when Ascension has kidnapped Lois Lane, which we learned last issue. They pretty much explained to Lois that they were created as sort of an opposition to a government branch known as the Machine, which discovered an alien being in 1938. Obviously, they're referring to Wraith, and when they first met Wraith, apparently there was some equation attached to Wraith's ship that allowed them to advance a lot of Earth's technology using materials on Earth. And because Ascension was formed because they felt like, you know, humanity shouldn't be growing because of help from an alien. They should be doing it on their own. So now what Ascension is planning to do is they're planning to shut down all of Earth's technology near them, and pretty much just shut down all of Earth's technology and bring them back to a period right before the alien came. And also, but back to the main character of this book, Superman, he and Wraith are starting to try to find Ascension and Lois. They pretty much continue their investigation at the Fortress of Solitude. While they're there, Wraith shows Superman an image of his planet, which has pretty much a huge chunk missing from it, which if you watch DC All Access today on YouTube, then you saw Jim Lee and Scott Snyder talking about it, and they said that might lead into a future story arc. But the point is, back to the main story, eventually the Wraith does talk to Superman again about how he's sort of living this sort of limbo between being a human and being an alien hero and stuff, and saying that he should work with the government and stuff, says that, you know, he should be like him and not try to sort of build a life on Earth amongst humans, because eventually he reminds Superman, he pretty much reminds him again that eventually Superman is going to outlive everyone he knows, by reminding him that, you know, eventually everyone is going to get older, and you're going to get older too, just not as fast as everyone else, and to help cover it up, you're going to start using makeup and stuff, but eventually it's going to get to the point where you're still alive and the Daily Planet is like nothing more than an empty building. And after they talk about this, Superman starts to bring up the point that, you know, somehow Wraith is kind of involved, thinks that Wraith is somehow kind of at the center of all of this, and because he thinks that Wraith's involvement is somehow linked to Ascension. And right when Superman gets this hunch, though, Wraith pretty much grabs a kryptonite rifle and starts talking to General Lane, saying and receiving orders saying that now he has to stop Superman, and pretty much the whole point of all this was just that so that Wraith could get inside Superman's fortress and kind of take over and stuff. And Wraith pretty much gives Superman one last chance to either join him or die. And that's what happens in Superman Unchained. Okay, really good issue right now. We get pretty much... oh, and also Batman and Wonder Woman contact Superman, saying that Ascension has begun their strike by launching almost every nuclear silo on Earth. Okay, end of issue. Back to the point. Superman Unchained number 5. Very great issue. We finally have a link. Pretty much since the start of it, there were these two antagonists that Superman had to go up against. There was Ascension and Wraith. Pretty much it felt like, at first I thought Ascension was just going to be something bigger that Superman's going to have to deal with, and Wraith is just sort of like the current problem he has to deal with right now, but apparently they're both linked, and now they're coming together, which is what we get with this issue, which I think is great. It's something that we needed in this story arc, a link between the two opposing forces that Superman needs to stop. Right, and also real good job of how Jim Lee does a good job illustrating Wraith's point, because when he's going through, when Wraith is talking to Superman, is giving Superman this metaphor that he walks into the Daily Planet every day. Now imagine what it's going to be like 20 years, 40 years. And, as they're going on, you see these characters aging at different periods. Like, at first they're celebrating Perry White's birthday, then everyone's older, and Perry's really elderly, then Perry White's funeral, and then finally an empty building. So, yeah, very good points driven there by Wraith. I think for a while I almost did believe Wraith. Like, he did have a good point that Superman is eventually going to go older, and I think that's something he has to deal with every day. Does it really bother him that much? I think it does, but just not something. But it feels like right now Superman's just kind of like, I'll get to that problem when it comes up. Not now. I won't worry about it. So I think Superman's just the type of guy who's going to enjoy having the people in his life now while he still can, and worry about what's going to happen after they're gone when it happens. So I think that was a good point. Also, if you really think about it, the reason why Wraith is so willing to go along with the government and Superman isn't is because of the way they were both found. They both arrived on Earth. When Wraith arrived, he made contact with the government. So naturally, it was pretty much a working relationship with him. When Superman arrived, he was a baby, and he was found by an elderly couple in Kansas who took him in, pretty much raised him as a human boy. So obviously, there's your difference right there. So I think, again, on the surface, Wraith and Superman are pretty similar, but at their cores, they're both very different people. So yeah, again, Superman Unchained. This is pretty much the only Superman book I'm reading. It's very nice. Scott Snyder's story and Jim Lee's artwork work well with this series. This is definitely a buy. Next up, Aquaman, number 26. This is Jeff Parker's first issue taking over Aquaman after Jeff Johns concluded his run last issue. So pretty much for Aquaman number 26, it starts off in a big way. Aquaman has to deal with a giant sea monster that's attacking the coast of Iceland, and it is almost as big as Topo. So naturally, Arthur's first instinct is to mind control it, otherwise he's going to be in a coma for 6 months again. And of course, while Arthur's fighting this back in Atlantis, the Royal Council is seeing it, and they pretty much recognize the beast as this sort of monster known as the Kavarakan. Yeah, I wrote it down right there, so I hope I'm saying it right. Karakan, who according to legend is supposed to answer to the royal family. However, apparently this beast doesn't recognize Arthur as a king. And Aquaman's pretty much trying to fight this thing head on. He's doing his best, but it's not going so well for him. Atlantis is starting to send some reinforcements. Mara's starting to head over there, but for now, Arthur's losing the battle. People are getting hurt, so he has no choice. He tries to control its mind, but when he does, he actually somehow links with the creature and sees this vision of a kingdom being destroyed, and that's where the issue ends. Okay, alright. Before Jeff Johns ended his run, it was established that Arthur's family sort of took over Atlantis from the original first king, of Atlantis. So technically, it wasn't really royalty that made them kings. It was more of capturing the throne and stuff. And also, there were other sea kingdoms out there that were brought together by the dead king, but eventually, after Atlantis sank, they were all scattered, and they still exist somewhere. So I think, and also, Mara recognized the beast too when she was in Atlantis, and she said her people had another name for it. Should have written down that name. Yeah, but anyways, I think this beast is somehow linked to the destruction of Atlantis, and one of the Atlantean Council members said that the beast doesn't recognize Arthur as its king. I believe that. I think that maybe this is, and at the beginning of this issue, we see that the beast is fossilized, but was woken up by some earthly scientists. So I think somehow this beast could be a guardian that could have been working with the dead king of Atlantis, like the last king before it sank and stuff. So I think whoever he is, or at least, and again, back to the theory about the seventh seas, or it is possible that this beast, like Topo, is maybe one guardian for a particular sea kingdom, and Topo is like the guardian of Atlantis. That's why he listens to Arthur. And this giant creature that Aquaman's currently fighting is maybe linked to another kingdom. That's just a theory, but I think right now, possibly one of the big goals that I think Jeff Parker is going to do on his run on Aquaman is maybe tackle the whole mystery of the Seven Seas. And again, we still have Arthur dealing with Atlantis, who is still not willing to accept Arthur as his king, mainly because of his concerns for the surface world. But back to the sea. But the sea creature, though, I think it is going to be linked to the first king in some way, and that the kingdom Arthur's seeing being destroyed is going to be probably Atlantis, or at least one of the other 7 sea kingdoms that's still out there. But yeah, overall, I would say it's a very great first issue. I would say this issue of Aquaman is a good jumping on point for people who haven't read the series yet. Pretty much, yeah, this is a good. We got a new writer, fresh, new jumping on point. I would say if you haven't been reading Aquaman, please get this issue because it's a good start now. If you have been reading Aquaman, then I'd say keep reading it because this does look very interesting. All right. Now for my last comic, The Flash, number 26. Fortunately, this is just a quick one. This is pretty much a one-shot that's written by guest writer Christos Gage. And pretty much what happens is The Flash is trying to catch a former stunt pilot turned thief known as Spitfire, who's known for stealing deadly pathogens. And in order to get through her recent crime, she murdered one of Barry Allen's friends, a Dr. Carlson. So Barry has a personal reason to catching this criminal. But here's the thing, though: since she's a former pilot, she's pretty much sticking to the air, so stays in the air. So Flash is pretty much has to get creative with this issue to try to stop her. And at the end of the issue, he does manage to catch her, but it's very interesting. He does have to, go through a lot to try to catch her because Flash, yeah, he may be faster than Superman, but he can't fly. So, yeah, so pretty much this was a very, fun issue. It wasn't like serious fun. It was like, just a good time because it's Flash. This is something that's out of his element. A poet who mainly sticks to the air, so he's getting creative about it. He's pretty much thinking, all right, I have to do this, and it's funny and there's also some reference, and there's also some fun flashbacks in here about how he's able to do all this. So yeah, I would say if you haven't been reading Flash, mainly because right now, pretty much all the stuff up to this point for Flash has kind of been pretty on and off for me, but this issue was actually very fun and I liked it. So if you're looking for just a comic that's just a one-shot, self-contained, I would say pick this up because it's only $2.99, so it's pretty cheap. And if you're someone who hasn't really been enjoying Flash for a while now, well, I would say, this is kind of a fun issue. So, it kind of brings back the certain magic, kind of the sort of fun element of the Flash, which is very interesting and shows that Barry Allen. It shows really how much entertaining a guy whose power is just super speed really can be. So yeah, Flash number 26 is definitely a buy. Okay, that's it for my comic reviews this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for pretty much watching most of my comic reviews this year. It has been a pretty interesting year for me. Can't wait to see what the next year comes next for both me personally and also for my channel. This won't be my last video of 2013. I do have a few more, at least 2 left that I want to do before the year comes to an end. I'm not sure if I'm going to upload them in time, but again, thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing to my channel. I hope everyone enjoyed my videos this year. I also hope everyone will enjoy all my videos that are probably going to come out next year in 2014. So thanks again, all my viewers, for watching. Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.